Hey Internet, welcome to Why Am I Watching This? My name is Kyle Mustang. This week's movie is Sex and the Single Mom with Gail O'Grady and Grant Show. First off, the other day, for the first time, I watched Dance Moms, followed by Pretty Wicked Moms, although by that point I just couldn't stand it anymore and I got up and left. And here I've been building this website and I've written some nice theoretical things about Lifetime. And then I turn around and I see that they're putting out, that garbage. And, it doesn't surprise me because Lifetime is a network after all, and they need to come up with things that are going to attract viewers' curiosity, which then raises their ratings and makes their programming more marketable to advertising. And that's how TV has worked for nearly 100 years. The thing is, that model for building advertising revenue may not necessarily work anymore. More and more people are getting rid of cable. I have gone on and off without it for about 12 years. And now that I think about it, reality TV was a huge reason why I got rid of cable in the first place. I just never got into it. And I got this really strong feeling that watching reality TV is unhealthy. I also never cared for Law & Order, CSI, NCIS, etc, etc. Yet networks keep putting out copy after diluted copy of those shows. Now, I want something that's different, something that's stimulating. That's why I go elsewhere. I still do technically watch TV shows. HBO, Showtime, FX, AMC, and the Cartoon Network have the best shows on TV right now. I'm just a patient person, so I wait for those to come out on DVD or streaming. What I'm getting at is the talent. The people who are willing to take creative risks are moving away from mainstream TV. And what that leaves is the lowest common denominator. Shitty, formulaic sitcoms, hour-long dramas, talent shows, and reality TV. It's just up to you whether you want to settle for that. Back to the movie I'm supposed to be reviewing. Sex and the Single Moms, starring Gail O'Grady and Grant Show. Gail O'Grady plays Jess Gradwell, an overworked legal assistant and single mom who I'm assuming from the title will at some point have to juggle all of these responsibilities while maintaining an active sex life. The new ball she starts juggling is played by Melrose Place's Grant Show, a heart surgeon, cardiovascular surgeon, whom she is preparing to testify in a trial. First off, I've watched Gail O'Grady's career with some curiosity over time. Her first big break was on NYPD Blue, but her career has been pretty hit or miss ever since then. Her other big role was on American Dreams, which I never saw. And she always seems to play smart, sexy, and strong-willed women. But if you scroll through her credits, she's mostly done guest appearances. Same with this doucher, Grant Show, whose sex appeal I've never figured out. He plays love interest Alex Lofton and gets super grabby with her in her office. The sex scenes get a little lurid, which could have easily run off the rails into softcore porn, but Alex actually leaves the story pretty early on. The two have a fast and steamy love affair, all while Jess is perfectly aware that he has a wife that he's separated from back in Seattle. The two have a rendezvous in Chicago when he politely informs her that this is actually a breakup rendezvous.
I'm going back.
To your wife?
To my kids.
Oh, and the last 3 hours of sex? Actually breakup sex. And the dehydration you're experiencing right now is actually breakup dehydration. And when you get home, you'll discover I left you a little present. Breakup chlamydia. Okay, so douchey doctor guy out of the way, and we discover that the real drama of the movie is actually between Jess and her daughter Sarah, played by Danielle Panabaker. Jess is having anxiety over Sarah's perfectly natural teenage sexual awakening, which manifests in a massive crush on a soccer player named Chad. Aren't they all named Chad? Jess flips out anytime she finds evidence of Sarah exploring her sexuality, whether it be photos that she took of herself in her underwear,
Who took these?
or when she walks in on her and Chad making out in her bedroom.
This is Chad.
Hi.
Maria Ricasa plays Dina, the neighbor who also happens to be a single mom raising 2 teenage boys. Jess and Dina have a conversation about Dina's open door policy when it comes to sex and drugs.
If they're gonna have sex, let them do it at home.
Well, where would you suggest?
Well, Sarah's not ready for that.
You mean you're not ready?
This is too much for Jess to handle, but what she doesn't realize is that the more she insists on controlling Sarah's sex life, the more she's going to push her to start lying and sneaking around, like when she sneaks out of the house to go to a party on Halloween.
Where are we going? Rita's house. Her folks are out of town.
Of course, Jess's hypocrisy gets exposed when she's diagnosed with pregnancy, and Sarah calls her mom out on her bullshit.
You're pregnant?
Yes.
Who is he? Do you know how creepy this is? Your mom having sex with somebody nobody's ever even heard of?
He's a heart surgeon.
So that's pretty much the movie. The thing that I dug the most about it, because there wasn't a lot to dig, was the depiction of Jess and Dina. 2 single mothers and neighbors, who for all intents and purposes are raising their children together. Jess is the one with the more lucrative career who works long hours, and Dina watches the children until Jess gets home. When they have a problem with their children, they put their heads together and deliberate the way that responsible parents should. Instead of suffering through the groaning love affair with the heart surgeon in the first part of the movie, I would have much rather watched a movie that explored this non-traditional domestic arrangement. So that's pretty much the movie. I'm done. I like that take.